we are going to see this login functionality of the page by using Firebase Authentication, and we can also add the validation part also. Further, with Fingerprint Login, so we can add a validation part, and once done, it just navigate me to this Firebase page. Okay, now it's done. It's go to the home page. Once I log out and reopen the app, it just prompts me for a fingerprint. So this feels right. So let's start implementing this. By the way, before going to login functionality, we are just going to implement this UI for the home page, right? So I just implement this. Just open the Android Studio, which is a home page, right? Just close this. Preview function home page, which is a composable, right? So I just add a composable home page. You can see it just contains only text, image, button. So I'm just going to reuse that. Welcome back text, image. Here I am going to use home. Welcome to home. Something look like 350 across 400, right? Image like 350/400. And there is a logout button. So let me reuse the done text with button, right? So let me reuse this. Yeah. Give some padding top. Let me say 40 dp. No. Padding top for the box. Fine. Let's start implementing the Firebase. To implement the login functionality, let me double tap and shift with the check of Firebase. So we can go in for authentication, right? So let me use authenticate with Google and connect the project with the Firebase. Just open the console. So I'm just going to create a new project. Let me give name as travel login. Something unique name we need to give. I'm just continuing. My default Firebase account. Create a project. It will take a while. Then, so I'm just going to within the travel login project, and here is a pop-up checking for connecting this project. Then project is connected. So let me go to my Android Studio again. You can check this is connected to Firebase. Now add the Firebase SDK. It will automatically add to build.gradle and all. Fine. In meantime, we also need to add. So just go to Firebase console. Travel login 14. Our travel app. I just go to within this build authentication. Authentication is coming here, so we need to get started authentication. Email and password authentication. I just enabled it. Okay, now save. Once enabled, only we can use this. And here users, like we can see all the added users. Once we are done, let's go to the Android Studio again. Yeah, I hope it's automatically completed. Now let me add the logics. First we are focusing on sign up screen. sign up screen, it has few fields, right? For now, I'm just focusing on email and password, and rest of this we can add it on DB. So email by remember mutable state of something like empty value, and where password by remember mutable state of empty value. We need to use this within email and password fields. Name email on value change email equal to IT. Once you starting typing, it just add to the email text, right? And it is phone number. For now, just give it this a blank. Password on value change password equal to IT. Fine, strong password. Once done, we are going to click done button, right? Once we are clicking done, we need to use that functionality of login. Clickable login with email and password. Email equal to empty, password equal to empty. Now reset empty thing to empty. Going to create a function called function login with where email string password string. No need of where and or here. So let me check. We need to create a Firebase Auth to use this functionality. Okay, so private latent var Firebase Auth. Firebase Auth. If it is latent, once we are using onCreate, we need to initialize that. So Firebase Auth dot get instance. I'm just fetching the instance into Firebase Auth, and I'm just going to use this within this class. Use this within that class, right? Main activity. Yeah. Firebase Auth dot create user with email and password. I'm just passing email password. Okay. Password. Add on success listener is fine. Add on failure listener is also fine. Once it is success, we can just do a toast of it is success and move to next page, right? We can add these functionalities later. And what happens if it is this is sign up for login? The same email string, password string. We just need both for sign in and login. Sign in with email and password. Just use this functionality for signing. Sign in, sign up, right? Hope you understand this. Let me check. Here we are going to use login. So it cannot be defined because it is out of the class. So I'm just going to use on sign up click. I'm just passing the function Now it's done. We can use this here. Now this function is used here. Similarly for login. Login we are going to use email by remember mutable state of empty password. Email equal to IT. Similarly for password equal to IT. Here only we are using on login. We're just going to pass two strings, which is email and password, right? So here on the button box click la, where's the box? In this box click la, we are going to add that clickable of on login, email, password. Once logged in, email equal to empty, password equal to empty. Done. Mail, password. I'm just getting here. Let's run the project. Yeah, the project is created. Can use the navigation. Once done. So for this I'm going to use nav host another composable of home page. Right, home, which is the home screen, home page. Once sign in done or login done, we can navigate to the user to home page. Controller, once login done, controller to navigate to home. Similarly for that. And further we are going to add some validation context. Before that we need a function called send toast with params of message or string. This is going to use throughout the project for sending the toast. So sending a toast message, we are going to use toast.makeText of context. So this is activity, so I am just going to pass application context here and our message and toast.length. I'm just going to use short here, not show. So this will make our message to show on the toast message, right? So once it's done, we are going to use successful, logged in successfully. If it is a failure, login failure, and we need to use that message of exception, right? IT is the exception from here. Once logged in successfully, we are navigate to home page. Sign up successfully also navigate to home page. If it is a failure, just throw the failure message. Fine. Let me check of home page we are using to log out functionality. So it's log out Once it is clickable, we need to log out. Log out. So for this, I'm going to use the logout function here. Logout function, just passing as a reference here. If any parameters we passed, we can't use preview method. So I'm just reviewing. Okay, logout, and I'm going to pass a controller. Once logout, we need to come to the onboarding screen, right? Function logout controller Firebase Auth dot sign out dot fine. Once it's done, we're just going to controller dot navigate to onboarding. Right. I hope you got. Let's run our project. Yeah. Let me use the already created account. We give done. Logged in successfully. We are showing the home page. When I log out, it logged out and navigate to this splash activity again. Fine. What else? We need to add a validation part because we need a valid email and a password to be passed. So for this, I'm just going to use a function called validation. Validation with the email, password. Something we can't use val. Password. Okay. Here, if it is a valid email, so I'm just going to use a pattern val p equal to pattern patterns dot email address p dot matcher of email is valid email, which returns a boolean value. If it matches the email address, it returns a boolean value. If it is not valid, right? If it is not valid, matches. If it is valid email, fine. And if it's invalid email, we need a post message of enter the invalid email. If password dot length less than 8, then also we need to show this toast. Enter password of size at least 8. Once everything is done, then we need to return this. Is valid email and password dot length greater than 8. We need to add a return type of boolean false. If both are true, then it returns a true. So before signing or login, we are going to use is valid. this is the case, only we are going to use this validations and all. Login if validation of email password, then only I am going to sign. Please enter the valid email. We can't directly use onboarding on first. We can check Firebase Auth or current user dot u id not equal to null. If it is he is already logged in, then need to go to home page, else going to use the onboarding page. Hope it makes sense. And finally we are focusing on our Firebase login. So for the fingerprint login, we are going to use the shared preference. Okay, or I'm just going to use shared preference. You may ask, what is shared preference? It is a local storage which can persist the data through the app. So when you close and open the app, that time also data will persist. Okay. As I say, we need to initialize this both shared preference. This dot shared preferences, get shared preferences, shared pref dot mode private. So this is the confidential data of login user, right? So we can't just make it public. And editor shared preference dot editor. Fine. Once login successful, we need to store the data. Put editor dot put email editor dot put password editor dot apply. Now these data must be stored in shared preferences of email and password. And once I am going to log in again, we can prompt this. Similar for sign up also. Once I coming to onboarding screen, you can just prompt, just like email like share preference or get string email null, which is a default value. If email is not there, then it returns null. Password share preference dot get string password and return null. If both email and password is not equal to null, we can ask for a biometric. If biometric success, then we just log in, else it is not authorized user. For this, I am going to use biometric manager equal to biometric manager, something like this, some from, okay, I imported something wrong, from, yeah, from this set main activity. So I am just initializing the biometric manager, and we are going to initialize the prompt info. This prompt is essential at our phone ask no, like that logging. The type of prompt is here. We are going to set our prompt dot prompt info. Oops, I just imported something like prompt info dot builder. Once done, we need to set the title. Title contains continue our previous email. And subtitle, use fingerprint to proceed. And the set negative button, some negative like cancel, or else if you proceed, I'm just can build this prompt here. Once this prompt is done, we need an executor. So this is another required thing for using this. So context compact, get main executor. Again, we need to
10
pass the
o'clock.
context. So what is the context here? This set main activity. Also executor is done. Then we are just focusing on our biometric prompt. Metric prompt, this is, so it contains, first thing is context. Some activity is asking as fragment activity, executor, then callback. Callback here I am going to use object callback, which is biometric prompt authenticate callback. Fine. This is only we can check if whether authentication is success or not. If authentication is succeeded, then I am just going to log in. And send toast like login successful. Pass the controller here. If it failure, so override func authenticate failed, then that also we can need to show failure of authentication like that, and we fall back to the screen. Okay, we need to use this prompt. For this, I'm going to have a variable of is authenticated to avoid again and again prompt of this fingerprint. Okay, when biometric manager dot like this we are going to use. This biometric success. So if the device has the biometric setup, right? So in this case, we need to check already authenticated. Is authenticated. If it is false, so I'm just going to use biometric manager prompt. So something we need to do and make the is authenticated false. Else in the similar case, like if there is no hardware, we can just toast some no hardware like that. Like that we can toast. So what is here missing? make sure that we need to import the biometric prompt as not as hardware thing. Okay, we need to import as Android X biometric, right? Not as hardware. Okay. And before running this, we can check this on authentication, right? True that initially, and we can also add this biometric prompt dot can authenticate of prompt info. Fine. And one part we can miss out. So validation it need to be greater than or equal to 8. Yeah. Hope everything fine. Let's run our project. So here in my real device, I'm going to check the same. This is given as sign in by my Gmail and password. You can check the same here and done. Now it's logged in successfully. When I try to log out, it won't come. When I just close my app and open this, it just proceed for a fingerprint. Yeah, for security purpose, it won't show on this screen. But once you implement it, we can proceed. Okay. Hope you love this, and that's all about the tutorial. Please think of subscribing and let me know your thoughts in comments.